I need to tell you about what I did next.
Chapter 4, Contact.
Well, I mean, at the
Having
end of the day,
waited-
she's certainly got talking about herself like a woman down, hasn't she?
Right.
It's all about me. Oh, of course, it's all about you.
Well, she's like kind of like pushing herself like she's this hero for doing this big campaign to try to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, she doesn't really solve the problem or help anyone except herself. So it's like, I don't know, like name names maybe, and then you could talk.
Nah. The grift ends if she does that.
Do you know a lot of selfish women, Carl? I mean, not all women are selfish.
I know a lot of women, if that's what you're asking.
Not all.
What are you saying?
Not all women are. I mean,
Not all, yeah.
some women are very
Selfless.
and generous. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nurturing, they even say sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not like my wife, but
Yeah.
is that women as a class? Are we describing all women?
Well, there's a
like that?
lot of gold diggers out there. That's for
Is that a
sure.
generalization we're prepared to make? I don't know.
I don't know though. I would like to live in a world where the gold digger class is, marginal.
Yeah. Liberal idealism, right? Okay.
I feel like that's the world we live in. So
From my experiences, from my personal experiences, I haven't seen an increase in selfishness or selflessness in either men or women. I think it's pretty equally distributed.
really, yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah, I mean, I
selfish
know
guys,
lots
obviously.
Adam needs your question, really.
I mean,
I live in Los Angeles, Carl.
Well, you live in LA, so everyone is selfish. So I don't even know where to. But no, I mean, I've known lots of women who I see them, not even just romantically, but in their jobs, they get taken advantage of. They're the type of people that like they do all the work. They always put other.
I'm just teasing, obviously, but
Sure.
there is a certain kind of woman who Abigail is mimicking.
is very selfish. Yeah.
Right.
I'm not saying there aren't selfish men. There, of course,
Mm.
are.
But wait a minute, you're proving that Abigail does have the female spirit. Then.
Yeah, I know. I'm impressed. I'm becoming more persuaded about this transition as the episode
It's
goes
believable.
on. Yeah.
She's
well,
passing in the selfish category.
Yeah, the more of a cunt Abigail becomes, the more I'm persuaded that she's trans.
Much, much longer than the legal maximum waiting time, I decided
Legal maximum waiting time. Legal? You fucking sound like a retard.
Yeah.
Bring up the meme. Bring up the meme. I can't believe you. Why would you?
Legal max waiting time. Oh, quick! They've broken the law. Quick, get the cops.
Why would you completely duplicate the meme of the crazy guy with the string in the yard?
Oh, you mean like the
This
from
is
Always
literally
Sunny in Philadelphia?
This is literally the meme.
She's got the big chart with all the stuff on it. Yeah.
This is so
yeah.
to
bad.
start sending
Well, also,
some
I
email.
mean, I saw this article. It's from 2017. It says the NHS is waving the white flag as it acts as the 18-week waiting time operation target.
Yeah.
This was in 2017 that the NHS was already dropping this 18-week thing.
Yeah, because they
There's no
had
end.
to.
Yeah, there's no end.
It was always a guideline.
Yeah.
emails. I found out which trust runs the gender clinic I'd been referred to, and I wrote to someone on their board of directors, a man I'll be referring to as Major de Coverley. Major de Coverley is the trust's head of compliance. It's his job to make sure that they're following all the rules. He's not a doctor, and actually that's worth bearing in mind. The NHS is not administered by doctors, it's administered by administrators.
Wow.
I wrote to Major de Coverley every week for several months.
So again, this is like this entire video just becomes a screed against, having administrative run, government run healthcare.
Mhm.
It's just so weird that she's not seeing what she's doing in this video, but okay.
And eventually, he wrote back.
Dear Abigail, as you've noted in your email, we are unable to offer a first appointment with
Oh my God, he sounds exactly like Sean.
Shocking.
the
I know.
18-week time frame that operates for most NHS services. Although this 18-week recommendation does in principle apply to our service, we and all the other gender services nationally are unable to meet this target currently due to very high demand.
Okay, so already we know, according to this guy, it's an 18-week recommendation. It's not the law. It's not a right. And he says he gives the answer. He says there's very high demand. So has she debunked herself? Is the video over? It's high demand. It's just a recommendation.
All it took was one polite letter from an administrator to pull
Right.
out her entire position.
It's probably posted on their website. She probably could have just looked it up.
Yeah.
Here I can bring in one of our big philosophers for today, Sarah Ahmed, and her book Complaint, which is all about how making complaints to institutions reveals the way they really work. In his letter to me, Major de Coverley was using a very interesting
This is the
technique from
philosopher of
management.
Karens or something.
Yes,
Like,
it is actually.
I've brought in the Karen philosopher to show you how complaining reveals about the. Yeah, okay.
You studied philosophy, Carl. You didn't take a class on this.
Not on Karenism, no.
Business philosophy, a technique called lying. The 18-week time limit is not a recommendation or a target that applies in principle. It's actually a right. I pointed this out politely,
Just
of
keep
course.
saying it.
And his next
Well, I mean, she has all these sources. Why she never just just post the law on the screen if this is a law? This is
The
a
way I
right.
feel about this, right, is if she's washed up on a desert island and some other guy like survived, and she's like, right, I have a right to free healthcare, and he's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a right. It's a right, John. It's a right. Transition me. Like fucking hell. Like dude, we both went. Yeah, I don't care. It's a right. It's such a stupid thing to say.
Well, I'm assuming she's using the word right and law interchangeably.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's what she's
Mhm.
doing.
Laws create rights.
Well,
Theoretically,
depending on how you
obviously.
define right. So
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
because I couldn't find a law that just says by law. Like, what happens if you don't get in 18 weeks? Does a doctor go to jail? Does like the
Let's hope
hospital
so.
go to? Do you arrest the hospital? Like, I don't understand how it's in the
Yeah.
law. Like,
Arrest the hospital.
yeah, you just show up, the building's gone.
Yet another argument for private healthcare.
move seemed a little better.
If you would like to discuss any aspect of your complaint further, please do let me know and I will arrange for you to speak to a senior member of the Gender Identity Clinic.
That sounded like progress. Talking to the guy who runs the clinic, yeah. If anyone can get me an appointment, he surely can, so we arranged a meeting.
Karenism.
He picked the
I'm
time and
making a
place.
video about my
wait.
Karening at this institution. Fucking hell.
You don't think this
Yeah.
is her being a hero?
No.
No.
I told
very
him
much
very
at once.
sternly, where is
Yeah.
your manager?
Yeah.
Finally, progress. I got to escalate the complaint up the hierarchy.
Keelan Narya Nansawami, thanks so much for the $100. Says, I watched Not So Yurdite's great breakdown of this video, and I laughed my ass off at PhilosophyTube's solution because it was ironically an argument for total laissez-faire healthcare, at least for trans people, because what even is gender dysphoria? But more importantly, S-Class is the best class. Thank you.
Yeah,
Waited
Adam, we
for
disavow
over an
that.
hour.
I know.
Wow.
That's not
It was the Sarganinos over here.
yeah.
And he never turned up. I honestly cannot stress enough to you how
turn up.
absolutely f***ing shit all these people are at scheduling.
Is this like a British thing? I can't imagine like being able to just keep emailing some like high official in my government and just randomly like, oh yeah, I'll schedule a lunch meeting with you. Like, I just can't imagine that being a thing in the United States and like
Well, I
unless
mean,
was
I
in,
can't
like, rural
imagine
America somewhere.
I can't imagine getting a lunch meeting with some official in the health service either. But then I'm nobody and I'm not trans, so I don't have those sort of privileges. I don't have that right.
Look at that.
I would love to have seen her letter
Look at
because
that.
I would assume she had to throw around her clout to get these meetings in the first place.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
probably said, I'm a big time YouTuber and I'm going
Right.
to call you out online if you don't give me an appointment.
They miss emails. They forget to press send when they write their replies. Multiple times we've arranged meetings. They chose the time and place, and then they just never turned up.
Dun, dun, dun.
Trying to reach them is like attempting the impossible. All these little mistakes get made, but they're always mistakes that benefit the institution, never the person complaining. And for this reason, Sarah Ahmed coins the term strategic inefficiency.
Literally
The
just
harder it is to
complaining.
complain-
We are just fucking complaining. Non-stop fucking complaining. This is oppression.
Mhm.
God damn it.
Strategic inefficiency. Okay.
Well, it's
Whining.
this whole thing again. She's just complaining about like these are things that will exist in any large scale system.
Yeah.
And if you're advocating for a large scale socialized medical system, all these things will exist.
How is this
Inevitably.
inefficiency though? They want to slow down the process because they don't want as many lawsuits from detransitioners. That's strategic efficiency.
What she means is like, oh, I didn't get your email that said that we were supposed to have that meeting. You know, that would be the strategic inefficiency.
I wonder if she negotiated with them in exchange for not using their names, actually interfacing with her.
Good question.
Well, yes, I'm so curious because again, like I just can't imagine emailing like high government officials or fucking hospital administrators and them just being like, yeah, I'll just talk to you. I'm not busy. You know, I just can't imagine this.
Yeah.
But what do I?
Remember,
fewer complaints to deal
it's
with.
because it's being run by the British, okay?
Of course.
It's the British. If it was run by the Somalians, they would have met that meeting. They would have turned up and been like, yeah, of course, sorry. Thank God we're not Brits.
That
to
really
deal
hurt.
with.
That really hurt you,
The more-
Carl, didn't it?
No, it's not, it doesn't hurt me. It's insufferable watching upper class leftists going, oh yeah, everything's bad about us because we're British. Oh fuck.
Yeah, I don't like that either. People do that.
fucking
The
insufferable.
America Bad crowd really bugs us as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Or they can just carry on doing what they're doing. She also says that making a complaint becomes a kind of unpaid job. Because in order to complain about a system, you have to spend a lot of time learning about how it's supposed to work.
Oh god.
I don't think I can adequately explain to you just how maddening it is to go through all that organizational hell, and then when you finally get into the meeting, they don't know the rules that they're supposed to be following.
Passion of
So
the Karen.
often in this process, I have wanted to say to these people, why am I doing your job? Just dozens and dozens and dozens of emails, hundreds of hours spent doing this in my free time just to get an appointment with a doctor. And so that I can turn it into educational content for all of you fine people.
See, she negotiated. She totally did.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're about to hit your favorite part. She demands to get paid.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Patreon.com/philosophytube. I am no longer asking. Sign the up.
Exhaustion can become a management
Jesus.
technique. So much of the work of complaint is work we would not have to do if institutions were as committed to creating open, accessible, and inclusive environments as they claim to be.
It's so weird because just the fact that the institutions have a person that you can complain to is a complete, modification to institutions. There was a time when they were like, yeah, no, you don't get anyone to complain to. Just fuck off.
Right. Well, I'm wondering if this Sarah Ahmed person has ever worked in an institution of any sort, because it's not like yeah, there's all these problems that exist in institutions where it's very hard for people to hear you. It's very hard for complaints to get registered, but it's not intentional. It's because everyone's fucking busy. Everyone's doing shit that's more important, and you, some random person, complain about whatever you're complaining about, even though it's like a super big deal for you. For them, it's like the bottom of the stack in terms of important. They're trying to keep
They're sat there going,
the
hey,
wheels
we've got
turning.
1 million cancer patients to deal with.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They're like, I have to, we're still backlogged. Like, I'm assuming this is all going on when COVID's happening.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we're backlogged with like COVID problems. And this person is like complaining that it's taking them too long to get their gender clinic appointment. And what am I supposed to do about it? I can't like snap my fingers and materialize more doctors that cover this issue. And like, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah. They should show up at that lunch meeting and say, listen, I'm so glad we had the time to do this lunch meeting today. 5 cancer patients died while I'm taking this meeting with you. But thank goodness we're here to answer your complaint.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Here, let me give you
like-
the names of the wives of the husbands that have died.
You'll like the first sentence of Sarah Ahmed's Wikipedia is,
Oh,
Sarah
no.
Ahmed is a British-Australian writer and scholar whose area of study includes the intersection of feminist theory,
Mhm.
lesbian feminism, queer theory, affect
Irony.
theory, critical race theory, and post-colonialism.
Oh, wow.
She hit like every
Wow.
single target.
No wonder she's written a book entirely devoted to complaining. It makes perfect sense now.